What's up, everybody? We're back with episode 5 of the Magic Life of DJ Augustin, and we're here with my co-host Mackenzie. And we have a super special guest today. He goes by the name of Lil Fizz. You may know him from B2K. You may know him from Love and Hip Hop, Los Angeles, Hollywood, whatever you want to say. But he's also family. He's my cousin, so it's a special episode today, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's really fun getting to know someone that's a family member to you, so it kind of takes it beyond what you see on TV or even like what we see on the court from you.
For sure. It's going to be a fun one.
Augustin for three. He drills it. DJ Augustin.
All right, we're back with episode 5 of the Magic Life with DJ Augustin. Like I said before, we have a special guest. He's not only family, but he's more than that. He's like a brother. You may know him as Lil Fizz and Love and Hip Hop and all this kind of stuff, but he's my cousin. He's family, so
Yes,
I'm just
sir.
happy to have you on the show, bro.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah.
This
So
is
let's
love.
get into it. I remember back when we was younger. Used to come to New Orleans. I used to bust your ass. And I'm just playing.
No, it's true, though. It's true.
Yeah, we had some gangs, some wars out there. But I remember you telling me, hey, cuz I'm gonna be in a group one day, to see it happen, it was amazing to see. What was that journey like, bro? Just being like a regular kid, and then jumping into obviously B2K,
Right. Well, it all starts when you're a kid. It's just like you had it in your mindset from an early age that you was gonna play ball. I had it in my mindset from childhood that I was gonna be famous. I just didn't know how, but I knew I loved music. And so when the opportunity came about, I was like 8 years old, and this lady was like, "Can you sing? Can you rap?" And I was like, "I'll rap." So I like rapped this little verse that my older cousin wrote for me, and she was like, "We love it. It's dope. We want you to be in the group." So, of course, it didn't happen overnight.
Right.
It was a situation where when we was around each other, I'm like, I'm in this group. It's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a be big, one day. And I just stuck with it. Being consistent, like putting other things on hold, like wanting to play ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm like, nah, this is my calling. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
So sticking with it and not giving up. Every door was closed in our face. Every label was like, nah, we don't want to sign them. They're kids. They don't get it. And we kept going. We did like 3 auditions, I think, with Sony.
Right.
And on that third one, Tommy Mottola, who was running the company at the time, seen us, and he was like, I'm signing y'all.
Yeah.
And we just knew it was gone from there because we all had the mindset that we wanted to be like Michael Jackson,
Right, right.
So we did whatever it was going to take to reach that status.
So what was that sacrifice like? Obviously the music industry, I see a lot of stuff like young kids coming into music industry. They don't get to have a real like childhood, if you want to say,
Yeah.
because it's such a grind. What was that grind like for y'all, that sacrifice for y'all?
Well, I wouldn't say it was much of a sacrifice because it was something that we all wanted to do.
Right, yeah.
And then we had each other to be friends with, you know
Right,
what I mean? And make a way to get our mind off of, I'm not back home, or I'm not in school right now. We had each other to like play games with and,
Right.
practice and do what we love to do. So it didn't really feel like a sacrifice more than it felt like a grind just to get to where we really wanted to go.
Gotcha. Yeah. What if I want to say, what was one of the biggest moments, like when y'all first said, "Damn, we really made it"? Like I know you said you started at 8, and it was going around trying to get people to look at y'all. But what was the big moment when y'all looked at each other and was like, "Damn, we made it, y'all"? Was it a particular song? Was it like
I would say, yeah, it was that second album, and we dropped the first single, Bump Bump Bump.
Gotcha.
And it reached #1.
Yeah.
And when it hit #1, we was like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is what it feels like.
Right.
Like all the hard work we put in, all the time that we took to rehearse and just make sure that we was on that superstar status we wanted to be on, it all paid off, And when we hit that #1 spot, it was like, because it's 1,000 people on that
Right,
list,
yeah,
you know
for
what I
sure,
mean?
for
That's
sure.
trying to get to that #1 spot. So when we hit it, it was like, wow, this is it's game time.
Yeah.
You know, it's time. We can go on our own tour.
That's crazy.
You know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it was fun nonetheless, you know, but I think as a kid being in that spotlight, you're not really, you know, locked in to see like I have made it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of just like a fly by night thing.
Right. Yeah.
So I would think when it hit me the most was the reunion tour when we did Millennium Tour.
Oh, just recently.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it was like, damn, like this is what I was working towards, you
Right,
know,
yeah.
like seeing everybody there and just really embracing the moment to know like I put in some work. What I did was really worth it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I know you were the youngest of the group. Did you feel that? Could you like feel that you were the youngest out of the rest of the guys?
we was all, you know, a few months apart type of thing, so it didn't feel like that.
What was it like? Because you guys obviously made a movie as well. You got served by the way.
Yeah.
The movie was
I
big.
saw it opening
I love
weekend.
that movie. My daughter, Kaylee, my daughter loves that movie. She be
That's
like, "That's
what's
my
up.
cousin. That's my cousin." I'm like, "Yeah, baby."
That's dope.
Yeah.
The movie was a good experience. You know, it actually made me want to act more because it was like I'm not big on traveling. Like I like to travel and see new stuff, but I don't like airplanes. So being that we filmed back here at home and I got to go home every night after work, that was fun to me, you know, and just seeing the influence we had over the younger generation and, you know, making things about other or making life about other stuff like outside of the violence, you know, like the movie expressed that you can dance to get your frustration off.
Yeah.
You don't have to go fight nobody. You don't have to pull a gun out. You know, this can alleviate a lot of that. And like I said, influence the younger generation to just think outside the box.
Yeah, because that movie got a good reception. It was #1 in the box
Yeah.
office opening
Right.
weekend, and I think you guys I think what I read, you guys grossed like 16 million in that first
Yeah.
week
Yeah.
alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that has to be awesome to see. Like for your first movie, you're like,
Yeah,
Nice.
it was dope.
And I can remember, you know, when Drew told me that, you know, he was gonna be in the group and stuff. You know, until you see it firsthand, you know, I think I went to my first concert when y'all came to
down.
New Orleans. They came to New Orleans. I was with them. I was backstage and stuff, and I'm like, you know, damn, like this dude really is, you know, famous. Like, you know what I'm saying? Marcus Houston. Who else was on that tour with y'all?
Nick Cannon.
I think Bow Wow. I think I
Bow
seen
Wow.
him. You know, so it was just crazy to see somebody that, like, we both were kids, and I wanted to be a basketball player. He wanted to be, in the music industry, but to see him really living his dream, and I wasn't at that level yet, was really inspiring, you know, and that was crazy,
Yeah.
you know.
Drew, are you older between the two of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's older than me, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the age difference?
I'm November 10. Which one?
I'm the 26, but you're
I'm 32.
32. I'm
Yeah.
34, so
Yeah.
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was that relationship like growing up as kids?
It didn't feel like we was far
Yeah,
off
it
of
didn't.
age like
It
that,
didn't.
you know, because we was into the same things.
Mhm.
Like we both love basketball, and we wasn't around each other every day. So when we did get together, it was just having a good time, you know, being kids.
What was DJ like as a kid?
To me, DJ was spoiled. You know, he wanted his way, but DJ was really tough. You know, he didn't have like I've had friends that would cry about the stuff they didn't get. You know, he never cried about anything. To me, it was like, do you have feelings, bro? Like, what's going on? Like, it was a story where we was in my brother's car.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we got out, and I didn't notice he wasn't fully out the car, and I closed the door, and I slammed his whole finger in the door. Like, literally, he's sitting
Door
there,
was shut.
and he's like, my finger. But he wasn't crying or anything. Like, literally, he was just sitting there like, my finger. And my brother's in shock, like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Not knowing what to do, and then he finally unlocks the door and gets his hand out, and he was like, look at this.
Yeah, that
My
was good.
finger, man. And I was just like, oh, man. I
They was
messed up
worried
his
about
shot.
because I had a game like the next day, so they was all worried about the game. But I was like, man, I'm good, you know. But it was crazy, like, you know, to see my finger in the door. Yeah, so. But nah, like Drew said, we had some great time, man. We was just being kids, you know. Just,
Yeah.
you know, and like I said, to see him now, like I have kids, he has kids, and, you know, to see my kids excited to see their cousin on TV, you know, and whatever he's doing is great to see, you know, that we came from, you know, talking about it one day and actually living it now.
Right.
So.
And it's dope too, like you said, with having kids. Like my son is all about basketball. So when he gets to see his older cousin on TV and he's playing in the NBA, he's like, I'm like, see, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it shows that you can do it too, you know. So it's dope to have that type of relationship with family where you can actually have your kid look up to him and be like, Dad, like, this is all in reach. You know, it's not far away. It's not a dream. Like, this is something that I can really make happen. Mm-hmm. So it's just dope to, you know, have this type of relationship in family where it's like everybody's doing something and they're successful at what they're doing, and then we have kids who are looking up to us that can also be like, I can do that one day, you know?
For sure. And so, you know, to change pace, I know you've had a great career music-wise. You've gotten a lot of opportunities on television. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to doing now? I think I saw something about you possibly doing another movie coming up.
Yeah, that's a movie I'm actually executive producing with a friend of mine. His name is Scott. He goes by Sky Directs, and he had this idea for a movie, and he was like, "Man, you know, you're really in your child's life, and you know that's really dope. And I think we should merge that with this script." So he has this script where I'm a father, and my son has heart conditions, and he's playing ball, and I'm at the game, and he passes out in the game. So I rush him to the hospital to find out he needs a heart transplant. And it goes from him needing a heart transplant to us not having insurance and not having enough money to facilitate that. So his mom, who's a stripper, goes into robbing the strip club, and the guy who owns the strip club is a street dude who's selling drugs and stuff. And now we gotta figure out how to get our son back because he kidnaps our son because she stole the money. So it was dope, man. I think it's a dope script. I'm excited about filming it. We should be probably finished towards the end of this year.
Gotcha. You think living out here in LA, does it give people a chance to have more opportunities in that type of, you know, the film, music industry, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, so of course the whole Hollywood industry is out here.
Yeah.
Based out here. But, you know, if you want to pursue something, you pursue it. You know, so if I was growing up in New Orleans and I wanted to be an actor, I would move out to LA, you know, to try to make the most of the opportunity.
Right. And
I think, yeah, I would say that between here and New York, but New York is more of like fashion driven, and not so much the acting world. It's a lot of music industry out there too, though.
Gotcha. Is there anything else like other than like acting and music that you getting into business wise?
Yeah. I'm actually doing some property.
Gotcha.
Buying some properties, and you know.
Runs in the family.
Yeah. I mean, that's where it's at long term, you know. Yeah. So I got in a real estate investment group, and we go out and find properties, distressed properties, and fix them up and resell them or rent them out. So I'm into that. And other than that, man, I just enjoy being a dad. Right, you know, that's my main focus, is just making sure my son has everything he needs, you know.
And I know Cam plays basketball, but, like, do you ever catch yourself, like, at the games, like, going crazy? Like,
what?
Out, like
what? I'm there. Like, I've had, like, too many encounters with other parents. Like, where they're like, I'm talking. That's my son right there. You know, it was a situation, man, where, you know, they're kids, so they're learning as well.
Right.
He got pushed in the game by this kid, and the ref wasn't calling no fouls. Yeah. So he was getting frustrated. Every time he touched the ball, this kid is reaching in, elbowing and pushing him. He's just like, he's looking at me like, and I'm like, just relax, you know, just play the game. You know, it'll change around. And this kid pushed him again, and then he turned around and kind of pushed him back. Yeah. And the ref called a foul on my son.
That's crazy.
And I was like, come on, man, like, this is out of control. Like, he's clearly pushing my kid.
Yeah.
My son, the kid turns around and my son smacks him in the back of the head.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, Cam, but the kid's coach was his grandmother.
Wow.
And ran up to my son and was like, little boy, what are you doing? Keep your hands to yourself. And I was like, whoa, I jumped up like, hold on. If anybody's going to be reprimanding my child, it's going to be me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
they're kids. Like, don't jump in my son's face. Tend to your child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a little out of control, but it's some parents out there that really lose it, you know, and be fully invested into the game. Like, they got money on the game or something. And I'm like, bro, they're kids. Like, let them play, you know. But I definitely get up and, you know, let it out too.
Yeah, that's good, man. You know, do you think since you've been in the industry, if he ever wanted to be like, Dad, I want to be an actor, or Dad, would you?
I would definitely support it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm with whatever he wants to do, and whatever he wants to do, I make sure that I give him all the tools and just make sure that I can facilitate what it is that he wants to do. So if he wants to play ball, I got him on a travel team. You know what I mean? I'm making sure his grades is kept up in school, so he knows like, hey, you want to play sports. When the time come to play for the school, you can't play if your grades is bad.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So if he wanted to be an actor or a rapper, I'm like, okay, you want to be a rapper, you need to make English your focus because you need to learn how to write. You know what I mean? So definitely whatever it is he wants to do, I'm all for it, man.
For sure.
Staying on the topic of being a parent, I saw that you wrote a book.
Yeah.
Actually, about how it changed you as a person, becoming a father and everything.
Yeah.
What made you decide to do something like that?
Well, I always wanted to share my story, but I'm really private, and I feel like a book was a good way to just give everybody the insight to who I really am. You know, if you want to know about me, read the book. And it's being a father has definitely changed me. You know, I'm more cognizant of what it is I'm doing on a daily, you know, so I'm not like in my 20s, I'm out partying and at the club and then coming home late, like, nah, I got a responsibility, I got my child, you know, so it's him first, you know, when I have him, hey, we back home, we doing schoolwork after school and making sure he's eating dinner, he's going to sleep on time, getting his rest, like, all of that changed me as a person because now I gotta make sure I'm, you know, taking care of him first. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Outside of rapping and being in a group and acting, what would be something you would have wanted to do? You know, what's another, you know, like a plan B? What was your plan B growing up? If the group didn't work out, what was your plan B?
I wanted to be an orthodontist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, growing up,
Random.
I know it sounds crazy random, but I always had like issues with my teeth and stuff growing up. So I was just like, man, I want to help people that have messed up teeth because my teeth are messed up. I don't think nobody should have messed up teeth. So that was something I wanted to do when I was younger. I probably would have pursued that had this not came, you know, or sports, something in sports.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm guessing you would have played basketball, try to pursue the basketball.
Well, I didn't get as much height as he got when I was younger, so I mean that probably would have, you know, made the situation a bit different. I probably would have went into like, you know, physical therapy or something.
He could play.
Yeah, you know, I'm good for my height.
We used to have
you know?
some battles back in the day. So
I still play. You know, I love the game, so I still play like little adult leagues and stuff, or go to the gym and just hoop around. But I think I knew at a young age what I wanted to do. You know, I wanted to do music. I wanted to be in the industry, and that's just what I pursued, you know. So I think when you're young, if you can get into a mindset where it is you know you want to do something and you can be consistent at that, keep going. Because whatever it is you're doing for half of your life is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. So being that I made that my life, I knew what it was going to be, you know, in a sense. It's like the book, The Secret. You know, if you think of it and you envision it, it becomes your reality.
Manifestation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's something that you do like to get your mind, just to get away from everything, you know? To clear your mind. What's something that you do?
I like saunas and spas. I like to relax. So if I'm having one of them moments, I'll go like, it's a nice little Four Seasons resort out by my house. I'll go there. I'll go sit in the steam room, hit the jacuzzi, go get a massage, and just, kind of meditate, take my mind off of everything.
Yeah.
So
that's what's up. Yeah.
Light stuff. I don't do too much,
Yeah, low key.
Yeah.
Well, bro, I just want to thank you, man.
Of course.
Appreciate you. I think today was a great show. People got a chance to, see some stuff they didn't know. A lot of people didn't know we was family.
Right.
So,
people how you know? Like, that's my cousin, man. Like, why you going for Orlando? Because my cousin plays for them. Like, yesterday at the game, man, it was a guy in front of me. I guess, he was a Laker fan. And y'all got up at the end, and somebody got fouled to go to the line.
AG.
And I'm like, let's go. Let's go. He turned around like, you in L.A.? I said, my cousin played for them. Going for them.
What side of the family?
My dad.
My
dad's
dad's
our dads are brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're first cousins. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I know, because when you were like, oh, he's my cousin, I was like, oh, it's probably like distant.
Yeah.
I know so many people call each other cousins. It's like I got so many friends out here that be like, yeah, it's my cousin. Like, bro, we not really related, but okay.
Yeah.
People use that a lot.
And my older cousin, his brother, like if you put all three of us together, we look very similar.
Really?
Yeah.
You would definitely be like, oh,
man,
y'all
you
family.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure, bro. Well, I appreciate you, bro.
Nah, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
man.
for sure, man. Yep. Thank you. Yep.
Yes, sir.